Very nice. Good, good, good.
All right, guys, welcome to the 2025 CVO Road Glide RR. I'm not on camera on purpose, guys. I just want you to look at the bike for now. We're going to talk about the bike. But first, I want to give you some background. I'm standing in front of the bike because I want you to pay attention to me just for a second. We're going to talk about some background. I'm out here in Daytona Beach. It's bike week here, and I'm privileged enough to be standing in front of this 2025 CVO Road Glide RR, and not just to talk to you guys about it. I'm gonna ride this bike today, and I'm super appreciative of that. So again, before I say anything else, huge shout out to the Harley-Davidson PR team. That's Paul James, that's J-Rod, that's Jen, and that's Matt. They do a fantastic job all of the time, and anything I'm included in, I'm always gonna appreciate it, guys. Especially if you're gonna, now, let me say this, guys. Usually, when a new bike comes out, especially if it's a CVO, usually, and it's usually Matt, he'll have me come over here and he'll give me a CVO, and I could just go about my day. That's not happening today, right? This is a $110,000 motorcycle. So when I tell you guys I'm appreciative that I get to ride it, I'm appreciative. So here's the backstory, guys. So we go out to Austin, Texas to test ride Softail motorcycles. Now, prior to going out there, I was already told, or asked, I should say, if I wanted to ride a special motorcycle in Daytona. So of course I was like, absolutely. And you know, full disclosure, guys, I didn't know what to expect. My expectations were, I don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking CVO Road Glide. So listen, these guys know I love CVOs. So if they ever tap me for something, my first guess is some kind of CVO. So anyway, we get out to Austin. We're only riding Softail motorcycles out there. Breakout, the Street Bob, the Fat Boy, you know, all of the Softail models of 2025. I got a separate video on that. Then J-Rod, was it J-Rod or Jen? No, it was Jen. Jen came up to me and said, listen, the motorcycle that you're going to be riding in Daytona is here, and we're going to show it to you. We're going to show it to everybody. And she said, we need you to sign an NDA. Oh my God, guys. As soon as I heard NDA, that's when I got nervous. And why did I get nervous? Because every time the motor company makes, let me not say every time, most of the times the motor company asked me to sign an NDA, it cost me money, right? So now, once I heard that, the speculation starts. What is it? And I'm all over the place. I'm still thinking about that CVO Limited. Okay, fast forward to us being in the room where they're gonna unveil this motorcycle. The motorcycle is covered up. The wall behind it is covered up. And myself and Tiffany, Tiffany Renee, she poisoned my mind because she said, that's a Batwing fairing under there. I knew it wasn't a Limited because there was no tour pack. And because she said that, I said, you know what, it does look like a Batwing fairing. I was so wrong, guys. When they took the top off of this thing, everybody's jaw dropped. Okay, so guys, what I am gonna tell you is, a couple of things have obviously impressed me about this bike. One of them is let me get from in front of it. One of it is the paint job, guys. Now, yeah, you know, nice paint jobs on Harley-Davidsons. It's not new. This is exquisite. I mean, just all around the bike. The bike is carbon fiber everywhere. Here's what really impressed me, guys. I'm on my 2024 CVO Road Glide ST, and that bike is light. You know, they stripped a lot of stuff away from that bike. Obviously, it's not as light as it used to be because I put a bunch of stuff on it. This bike is 45 to 50 pounds lighter than that bike. So clearly this is a racing bike. It's race inspired. RR stands for Racing Replica. So what you're looking at is as close as they can get to the bikes that King of the Baggers ride. And if you're into King of the Baggers, yeah, this is gonna appeal to you a lot. But guys, just look at this bike, man. It's beautiful. And it's designed for racing. The Brembo brakes, the lean angle on this, there's no footboards. This thing right here, which I forget what it's called, which of course, if and when I get this bike, I'm taking this off. Because that's the beauty of this, guys. Can you track this bike? Yeah, I could track my CVO ST. I never will, I mean, I say never. but you can ride this on the road. This is road ready, and that's what stands out about this motorcycle. You still have the comforts of the infotainment screen and GPS and everything that comes with these other bikes. This has it. The Rofit Fosgate system is specially made for this motorcycle, and it's a 131 engine. And the swing arm, guys, look at the swing arm on this motorcycle. One piece, super light. And so, you know what? I'm not going to talk to you anymore about this, guy. If you want a bunch of technical stuff about this motorcycle, wrong channel. That's not me. Half of the things they were talking about as far as this motorcycle and what they put on it, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's why I usually stay by Cycle Fanatics, because John knows this, you know, he knows this kind of stuff. So I'll stay near him. And if you see John will be down here, like pretty much on his knees. Oh my God.
I want to sit up here. I'm just saying, all saying.
I always get next to John when I look at these parts because he starts talking about stuff.
Bolts are safety wired.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell John's talking about. That's why I get next to him.
Dude, look at the mid controls, Ryan. Bro, this is sick.
This is sick. Now I'm excited to ride it on Wednesday. Look at this, because I do see these cables connecting the bolts. I know there's a significance behind it. I know that they didn't spare a lot of expense in making sure that this bike has quality components and remain lightweight. So, all right, guys, I'm going to take it for a ride. PJ's going to be in front, and we're going to have some fun. All right, let's do it. All right, guys, so I don't have a lot of time left with this bike. Because of the weather, I was supposed to have 2 hours, and I was supposed to start riding this bike at 12 o'clock and have it until 2. But there's rain coming, there's strong winds coming, so had to start early, and now everybody gets like an hour. I got Throttle Blip behind me. That's him right there, talking to PJ. So, but what I wanted to show you guys, I'm gonna talk to you more about the ride we took, but I wanted to show you the difference in the height of this bike. This Olin suspension, this is racing suspension, the same suspension that they use on the race bike. So it's gonna raise this bike up 2 more inches to give it more lean angle. So for me, and yes, this has pegs, right? Not footboards. And it has little things on the bottom of the pegs so it can drag the ground. But I still mount the bike from the high side, right? Make sure to turn those handlebars, lean into the bike, boom. So I'm 6 foot 1 inch, and obviously this is gonna be comfortable to me. Obviously I'm gonna be able to flat foot this, but coming to a stop, you know, I have to, everything that I do with my feet is forward. And when you get into like a racing style bike, then there's no longer forward, it becomes mid or even, you know, behind you. But in this case, it's mid, so I had to get accustomed to when I'm putting my foot down, to put my foot straight down instead of putting my foot forward down, right? And one time I hit the peg a little bit, but it didn't take me long to get used to it. But it, you know, it feels good. This is 0 of 131 because it's a pre-production motorcycle. And so that's it, guys. I just wanted to show you that. Again, this pad right here, which I said I would remove, this is for when you're really doing, you know, cornering at high speeds. You can lean off the motorcycle and kind of put your legs against this. So that's what this is for. And I was actually able to rest something on it. So I mean, obviously it doesn't look great to me, so I would take it off. But anyway, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit more about the ride. I just wanted to show you guys that, and I'm gonna get off the bike so that Throttle Blip can take it out. All right, guys. Here's my final thoughts on that motorcycle. It is definitely one of a kind for a street production motorcycle. And of course, there's just so much that we can do on the road, but just quick burst of speed. So, you know, I know the bike's fast. You know what? I have to find out what the top speed is of that motorcycle. I don't know. What do they have it governed at? Because I know for my CVO Road Glide ST, that tops out at 120. And up until now, that's the fastest. Everything else is like 112, 111, 113. So is this one 120 as well? Did they open it up a little bit more? I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing, when you hit that throttle, it wants to go. I wish I could have spent a little bit more time with it, but you know what, listen, the motor company's always doing exactly what they can do. They could have just said, screw it, we're not gonna take it out at all because of the unpredictability of the weather. But moving stuff up, giving everybody, even if they gave me a half an hour, I'm appreciative of that. So on a motorcycle like that, again, it's a race-inspired motorcycle. So with a race-inspired motorcycle, the controls are gonna be mid or rear, not forward. It's not really for relaxing. Nothing about that motorcycle is for relaxing. So for me personally, that motorcycle wouldn't fit me because, again, this is my issues. My hips are bad, so I can't have my feet close to my body or anything like that and open, and it's just never gonna work for me. It's too much pain. I need to be able to stretch my feet out. But I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if certain things about that motorcycle kind of move down to the other motorcycles. Again, this is a limited production motorcycle. They're only making 131 of them to coincide with the 131 engine. CVO RR, it's one in the making. MSRP, $110,000. Okay, so let's talk about that. A lot of people saw that price and said, that's crazy, they're crazy, all kind of different stuff, right? Here's my take on this all the time. This is always going to be my take on this subject, the price of motorcycles. Guys, never complain about the price of a toy. I say that all the time. What we should be concerned as far as price concerns go is food, shelter, clothing, you know, the necessities in life. Clearly, when they made this motorcycle, they didn't spare any expense in the parts and components that go into it, right? And of course, as a company, you always have to be profitable, so I understand that. But clearly, this motorcycle is not meant for the masses. It's not. That's why it's only 131 of them made. Just like CVOs are not meant for the masses, although more people can afford a CVO than they can this. And yes, there are people that build motorcycles to get them as fast as possible, and they do a bunch of stuff where the cost becomes that or higher, right? But to be able to get this right out the box, ready to go, fast, light, 50 pounds, guys, is nothing to sneeze at. Imagine you lost 50 pounds. How much would you weigh, right? It's just a lot of weight. To be able to shave that off and have the motorcycle still look that good. It felt, I was trying to, you know, move the bike around to see, you know, how it felt. I did as much as I could with the time that I had, and I appreciate it. Guys, listen, I have to tell you this. I really considered purchasing this motorcycle just so people that I know can actually experience it as well. Of course, they'd have to be V.I.Preloaders, and they'd have to know how to ride a certain kind of way, right? It's a $110,000 motorcycle. But I really considered that, and I'm not gonna rule it out right now either. I'm really not, because I want you guys to be able to experience this. Now, will you ever be able to experience it? I don't know, right? I don't know, and this is why I say it's a blessing. I'm happy to be out here, and a huge shout out to the Moto Company. You know, I was talking to PJ about this in Texas, of how in 2021, without knowing too much about it and doing some research on it, they decided to start incorporating content creators into the brand, into their motorcycle world. And you know, I'm very happy that they did that, because it allows us to be able to share stuff like this with you guys, not just looking at it, not just pointing at it, but sitting on it, and more importantly, riding it, guys. I first got on the motorcycle, and again, the first thing I have to do, guys, this is always the thing this is the biggest obstacle. First thing I have to do is tell myself, all right, Rob, the rules don't change. I don't want you guys to think I don't still do that. Make sure the bike's in first gear, cover the rear brake, preload and keep it loaded. Make sure the clutch is right before the friction zone, slowly release it. As soon as it starts to move, pick my foot up, all of that stuff, right? Because sometimes when we introduce new things, we start forgetting about the fundamentals, right? And we don't want to do that. What I did notice on this bike is the brake pedal. Like, I felt like I had to press it really hard to get it to actually stop the bike. Like, it's almost like it wasn't working at all, right? Of course it was. And I'm sure that's something that could just be adjusted. Again, this is a pre-production motorcycle. And it's nice to know that you have all of that race-inspired stuff, all of that horsepower, all of that torque. I think it's 153 horsepower, 150 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, that's a lot, guys, right? But to be able to have all of that and still be able to look at your infotainment screen and have all of the creature comforts that the Road Glide and the Street Glide have, 24 and 25 I'm talking about. It has, this one has navigation in it already. It's a CVO, it's still a CVO. It has the hold feature, which I use all of the time. I appreciated that. And besides all of that, guys, it looks good. I know that's subjective, but I just think it's a beautiful bike. They did a great job on it. And if you have an opportunity to see it in person, you definitely should. That's true with most of the motorcycles. It happens all the time. I see a motorcycle online and I can't really appreciate the paint until I see it in person. This is no exception, guys. When I tell you this is one of a kind, it's one of a kind. And if you have a fast motorcycle like this, you need to be able to stop it, right? Those brakes are phenomenal. Like, I know I said the rear brake is almost non-existent, but that front brake, woo-wee, it bites, guys, it bites. And I did hear some comments of people talking about the front fender and saying how, you know, it's ugly, they don't like the way it looked. Of course, it's carbon fiber, but obviously it's designed like that with aerodynamics in mind. And so that's what I mean, guys, when I say, if you buy a motorcycle that's geared towards specifically something, you're gonna sacrifice certain things looks-wise, right? Now me, I have no issue with the way it looks. I think it looks great, but obviously it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but a fender is something easy to fix or change if you choose to do so. And again, people will say $110,000 shouldn't have to change nothing. Well, you don't have to change anything. The suspension feels fine, but if you have that kind of money, it's not going to be a big deal for you to change something, because regardless of the cost of the motorcycle, you still want to customize it exactly to what you like. Please, people buy phantom Rolls Royces that are base price $300,000 and customize those, and that car winds up being $500,000–600,000. So let's understand what we're talking about when we talk about how much something is. It's all relative, guys. It's all relative. All right, guys, I'm not going to make this long. That's going to do it for me here in Daytona at the Harley-Davidson. It's not a booth. It's a whole thing going on here, guys. But the main thing is right there. All right, guys, spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. It's not about being the best, guys, but it is about being the boss. Seat time doesn't equal practice time, guys. And if you have time to ride your motorcycles, you have time to practice on them. That's not my opinion. Until next time. All right, guys. Now I'm excited. I'm going to be riding this bike on March 5th.
I really didn't talk, actually.
That cowl looks way better than the one on my ST, which I actually took off. This one comes with a saddleman seat. So there's a lot of parts on this bike that aren't Harley-Davidson parts. They teamed up with a bunch of people. I don't want to hear it, Jen. Yes. Yes. I already said, let me call the wife. Let her know. You got to get this. How could you not get this?
For $250, I'll buy one and send it to Peter. I'm just saying, all saying.
How long are they giving us? Yeah, in between?
I always get next to John when I look at these parts because he starts talking about stuff.
Bolts are safety wired.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell John's talking about. That's why I get next to him.
It wasn't a bike for you, it was a bike for us.
I'm still going to get it, though.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, you got it. How could you not get this? It's only 131 of them.
110 grand.
I could work something out with that.
That's crazy. Dude, look at the mid controls, Ryan. Bro, this is sick.
This is
Sick,
sick.
dude. I want to sit on this thing.
Now I'm excited to ride it on Wednesday. I wasn't excited before.
So if I sold a kidney
On the black market?
and all my Harleys.
I like the handlebars. Everything is carbon. Everything. The paint is just, that's just, wow. Yeah, I didn't even look at this side. Oh, how could I forget? What does RR stand for? You know what RR stands for? How could I forget to ask that? What? Wow, I'm gonna have better shots for you guys when I ride this at Daytona. I have it out in the sun. I'm not into racing, so it's not even about that, but to get a bike out of the box this fast, this different, this unique.
This thing is sick.
Yeah, but I'm taking this thing off. I don't need that. I like the mirrors. What does RR stand for? How can I forget to ask?
Race replica.
Race what?
Replica.
Race replica. Son of a bitch.
Hey, watch the language.
No,
Children and kids in here.
that's soft language for this bike.
When you get one.
As soon as it's available. Oh, look at that. Everything carbon.
Yeah. Is that open, right?
I can't wait I can't wait to take it off the kickstand to see how lighter it is. How could you be 50 pounds lighter than the ST? They took everything off of that bike. That is crazy. These guys got cameras that look like lightsabers.
It is a lifesaver for me.
Lightsabers.
Yeah, but it's a life.
Look at the swing arm, bro.
Yeah, look at this swing arm, bro. Oh, this is 0 of 130. Oh, yeah, pre-production. Oh, dude.
This thing is nice.
You gotta buy it, man. Buy it, do some videos on it, and then sell it. You have to. Oh, look at this. Just look at this. You don't even have to ride it. Just park it somewhere and stand next to it, like a Lamborghini. Wednesday, guys, March 5th. I'm riding this bike in Daytona, and I might not bring it back. Wow. It's just. Are these regular rims? These are not new, right? Are these rims new?
They do, don't they?
They just didn't put the ST thing on them? Everything is just... All right, that's all I'm going to look at here because the light's bad. Everybody's walking around it. Listen, $110,000 for this bike. it's really a race bike for the streets. There's people that are spending that anyway to get their bikes to a certain level, you know, so to be able to get it out of the box and be unique, one of 131 because it's a 131 engine, that's unique as well. Woo. All right, so I do have to shout out the Moto company for bringing this bike here for us to see it, because they were gonna just take it to Daytona, but they brought it here so we can see it first, and that's just awesome, man. Awesome, awesome. I gotta ask them some questions, but that's just awesome.